the senior night for Rutgers. I am Dave Strader along with the former Rutgers coach, Bob Wesson, and we're glad you're with us here tonight on senior night at LaSalle. And here is the lone senior who was honored before the game, Wesson, and he does not get the break on that little jump hook. The Minutemen of UMass with an 11-9 lead. Twice they have had 5-point advantages, and the Explorers came back to tie it at 9, and that's been the story right there inside to Ketner. Although that time unable to get it down. He has 6 points on 3 for 5 shooting.
Both teams trying to establish their inside presence. We do have a matchup of great guards, Donnie Carr and Monty Back, but so far, neither is in evidence. Both teams trying to begin the game by getting the ball inside to their big people.
Here is Carr. Nice fake, gets the turnaround off, and it's tipped around, controlled by Mack. Hands it off now to Clark. Back to Monty Back. Drives to the basket, and he'll draw the foul.
On the floor are these people right now. Butler, Thomas, Wesson, Carr, and Blanks for LaSalle. They will nearly play 40 minutes a game. Kirkland, Babel, Ketner, Clark, and Mack. And Kirkland, the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year, Player of the Week last week, doing a tremendous job, especially in their double overtime victory over Xavier.
Mack is the leading free throw shooter on the UMass team as you take a look at the numbers so far. UMass 4 of 9 shooting, and that's been mostly Ketner on the inside, with the exception of the one 3-point shot that was hit by Clark early on. LaSalle getting 5 of their points on second opportunities. Mack nearly an 80% free throw shooter, very smooth and knocking both of them down. The junior from Boston, Massachusetts gives UMass a 4-point lead.
Well, we have the second and third leading scorers in the league in this game, Monty Mack and Donnie Carr, so we expect some fireworks from those two players guarding each other right here.
Here is Carr with the fadeaway. Rebound, Bragg, who just checked in. That's a big body coming in. Number 52, Garrett Bragg, 6'11", 260-pounder from Boca Raton, Florida.
Number 52, Garrett Bragg.
He comes in and spells Wesson. But we have Iron Men in this game for LaSalle. Their 5 starters play most of the minutes. As a matter of fact, Donnie Carr averaging 40 minutes a game.
Donnie Carr off to an 0 for 3 start here with the ball game. And now Smith, who has checked in for the Minutemen, goes to Clark. To Babel. Inside. Tough shot off the glass, no good. And the Explorers back the other way. Here is Carr looking for the alley-oop. Thomas lays it in.
LaSalle basketball number 25, Victor Thomas from Donnie Carr.
We've got an exuberant crowd here right now tonight. LaSalle fans, we're in Tom Gola Arena. Seats about 4,000. This is their home this year for the first time. On campus. Makes a big difference.
On the putback, it is tied up on the jump ball. And since it was made by the defensive team, it will belong to LaSalle. More basketball coming your way tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ESPN. 5th-ranked Maryland will take on Clemson in an ACC matchup, and then the top-ranked Blue Devils, trying to go for ACC perfection, will go outside the conference to take on DePaul. That doubleheader getting underway at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
You know, what's interesting about these teams, Dave, is that LaSalle, very difficult time on the road, but very solid at home. They have only lost 1 Atlantic 10 conference game this year in this building, and that was when Shante Rogers hit a shot at the buzzer to win it, as you can see right there. 9-2 at home, 1-12 away from home. And of course, the numbers obviously reflecting that.
Yeah.
LaSalle much better at home than they are on the road.
Explorers with a question mark. I guess you're not considered an explorer unless you find what you're looking for. Obviously, they're going on trips, but Speedy Morris's club unable to come home with the victory. Bragg able to hit the second of the 2 free throws. That foul was the number 33, Kit Reimer, who's in the ball game for Bruiser Flint. Reimer setting the high screen now for Mack. Nice pick and roll there. Reimer to the board, lays it up, and he traveled first. Ted Valentine, Ed Corbett, and Mike Sanziro, the officials working the ball game here tonight.
Kitwana Reimer is from the U.S. Virgin Islands, and he came to the United States, played for St. Raymond's High School in the Bronx, and they've had several players come here. Of course, Charlton Clark, the point guard, also from St. Raymond's High School, and his job is to give Ketner a blow, and he goes right to the bench. Ketner back in. I think they'll try to go to Ketner. See if Garrett Bragg can do anything physically with Lari Ketner inside.
Here was Bragg going against Ketner, trying to back him in. Kicks it out top, a three-pointer on the way off the front of the rim, no good. Carr struggling in the early going. I believe Bragg stepped down the baseline. He's saying he was pushed, but he won't get the call.
Well, he's going to play an important part in this game, is Bragg, because Lari Ketner being established inside by UMass is going to force Wesson to get into foul trouble. Therefore, Bragg's going to be in there.
Strong move to the glass. And Kirkland, the A-10 player of the week.
Oh, man, did he have a week last week? 26 and 12 at GW. 25 and 13 boards against Xavier. Wow.
Back-to-back double-doubles.
He might be the most improved player in this league.
That's the other award that UMass is hoping that Kirkland gets great consideration for. Carr has taken some tough shots and has now 0 for 5 from the floor.
Babel doing a nice job forcing Carr into a difficult one there.
Kirkland goes strong to the basketball. You can see the confidence in this young man. He believes he should have the basketball.
He is exactly what the doctor ordered for Bruiser Flint. They struggle offensively, and that's what he brings. A great story about a guy who persevered when he wasn't playing, stuck with things, great enthusiasm for the game, and his time has come.
UMass has equaled their biggest lead. Bruiser Flint, look at him walking the sideline there, talking to his defense. Tough shot there, though, as Rasual Butler, the 6'7" freshman from right here in Philadelphia. He's out of Roman Catholic High School.
Well, the matchup, he's going to have a smaller player on him because Babel is guarding Carr. That means Rasual Butler is going to get Monty Mack, and he has a height advantage.
Babel strong to the glass, lays it up, doesn't get the roll. Thomas the rebound, and here comes Donnie Carr. Down low, tough turnaround shot, and Butler able to hit that one on the turnaround.
Well, he averages 14 points a game, shoots 74% from the free throw line. I'll tell you what, he has a nice stroke. We watched him here this afternoon work out. Beautiful form.
Salle has 4 players that average in double figures. That's what could give UMass problems. UMass not a high-scoring team. Lead pass here for Thomas, goes to the rack and slams it home.
LaSalle is a very exciting offensive team. Their struggles come at the defensive end. UMass, on the other hand, is a strong defensive team. Their struggles come at the offensive end. Something's going to give.
A run of 6 straight points has erased that 5-point UMass lead. The Explorers now up by 1. Here's Ketner, but Bragg was leaning on him. And we're going to get a foul called here on Garrett Bragg.
You know, I think part of the problem with UMass this year is last year they had Tyrone Weeks, who was also a wide body. Ketner misses him.
Well, Donnie Carr is a great offensive player, but he has been struggling from the floor. So what do you do when you're struggling with the shot? Go to the alley-oop. Thomas for 2 of his 6. The Explorers from the early 1-point lead.
Some folks think my Subaru Outback here is just for exotic adventures. Truth is, it's good for the everyday stuff too. You know, like running down to the store, picking up the mail. The secret, full-time all-wheel drive. Something you just won't find in a Cherokee or a Blazer. Comes in handy when you say, wait for a hair appointment.
Right, what's your mate?
You know why I wear a hat.
Hey, we're the McKenzie brothers, and we're here to stop a heinous crime.
Yeah, they're sending Molson Canadians south of the border instead of our house where it belongs.
But we got a plan, eh?
Step out of the truck, please, sir. We offer a complimentary breakfast and free donuts, eh? How about a little deodorant for those long, stinky rides?
Au revoir, eh? Try putting it in low, eh?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm gunning it.
Like winter conditions.
Where did they find this one? Chapel Hill. Toxicology? Negative.
We are back in Philadelphia. Bob Wenzel and Dave Strader, as you can see, a 1-point game. And we got the Explorers exploring deep. And Victor Thomas finishes it off. Another angle coming at you in your living room. Watch out for the potato chips. One of the things going on right now is that the starting team for LaSalle, you can see that the bench does not give them very much. Look at the bottom, 36 minutes. And right now, their best inside force has 2 fouls and is sitting on the bench. Wesson is back in now. He was on the bench for quite some time. He's got to be careful guarding Ketner inside with 2 fouls.
Winston Smith ran out of room, kicked it back out and out of Clark. Clark taps the top of his head. This is a play that LaSalle worked on, knowing what UMass had in mind, and that ball hit the shot clock up above the backboard, and so the ball will go over to LaSalle on the UMass turnover.
Now at that end of the floor, the lighting in this building is not great, and at that end of the floor where UMass is shooting right now, it's a little darker than it is at the other end. Maybe that's why LaSalle plays better in this building. They shoot better when it's a little darker.
Kazel with the turnaround. Ketner had a hand of Thomas to the offensive boards, had it blocked from behind, and it went out of bounds, I believe, off Thomas. It will be UMass basketball. Explorers with a 1-point lead. We passed the halfway mark of the first half. Both of these teams trying to hang on to third place in their respective divisions in the Atlantic 10, and that lob pass was off the mark, but the Explorers turn it right back.
And this man with the ball is the director. Doesn't turn the ball over very much. Really plays solid, smart basketball. A big point guard.
And that ball last touched by the Minutemen. Now don't forget, if you're interested in championship week, you've only got one place to sit in front of the TV and think about. That's ESPN and ESPN2 starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific this Saturday. We'll bring you 61 games, including 29 conference championships. For more information, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Winston Smith can't quite catch up to that ball.
Winston from St. Patrick's High School in New Jersey. Bruiser Flint, a Philadelphia native himself, was a very good player at St. Joe's. Has been at UMass for 10 years, 7 years as John Calipari's assistant. They did a great job getting to the Final Four, and now running the show.
You just saw there, no field goals in the last 3 minutes. We were talking with former UMass coach Jack Lehman, who's sitting right over to my left and does the color on UMass basketball, and he talked about that as being the big problem for this UMass team. They just had these long droughts where they don't score baskets.
They really do. And Mack has to get involved.
Lonnie Mack has not had the ball in his hands much, but as you pointed out, Bob, they're trying to get the ball to Ketner and really establish him. Mack 0 for 3 from the floor.
You got to have some balance as well. I mean, if Ketner's going to handle the ball every single trip and you're going to get everything out of that, you can stall yourself out in other areas. Now they're running some stuff. Double screen on this side for Lonnie Mack.
Great defensive play there by Blanks as he stuffed it right out of the hands of Clark with 12 seconds left on the shot clock. So a timeout has been called with 7:20 left here in the first half. Speedy Morris has got to like the way his club has come back. They've been down 3 times by 5 points, but they lead the Minutemen by 1.
Back in 1883, J.L. Freed & Sons started as a humble, one-story retail shop for farm equipment. By 1919, Jacob Freed had entered a new era, adding cars and trucks to his inventory. In the decades that followed, dedication, honesty, and personalized quality service have made J.L. Freed the premier dealer of Pontiacs, Cadillacs, and Hondas. From the J.L. Freed family to yours, thank you for a wonderful 115 years.
March Madness returns to Philadelphia with the Bell Atlantic Atlantic 10 Men's Basketball Championship March 3rd through the 6th at the First Union Spectrum.
Get your tickets now.
Don't miss the best the Atlantic 10 Conference has to offer. See all the high-flying, slam-dunking March Madness and see who earns an invitation to the big dance. Tickets for the Atlantic 10 Championship are available at all Ticketmaster outlets or charged by phone. Call 215-336-2000.
Don't miss the Mets.
Wet road. Looks pretty bad, huh? No problem. That's the beauty of Subaru all-wheel drive, the ultimate safety feature. Thanks, kid. See, it automatically transfers power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip. And only Subaru puts it on every car they make. And that's no accident. Subaru, the beauty of all-wheel drive.
Well, we're at the Tom Gola Arena inside the Heyman Center, and they handed out what they called Heyman hankies before the game to the first 1,000 fans. Dave Strader along with Bob Wetzel. LaSalle has come back from a 5-point deficit, leading UMass 18-17, and the matchup of the two guards so far, Bob.
Carbon copies of one another. The second and third leading scorers in the league. They shoot well from three-point range. Both are dynamic scorers, both not in evidence so far tonight.
UMass scoreless the last 3 minutes and 49 seconds. 12 seconds on the shot clock as they inbound from the sideline. They got it set up here for Mack, looking inside for Ketner. He turns, unable to hit that one. He hit 3 of his first 4 shots, but has cooled off considerably, and now the shot clock goes off.
The shot was taken, and it did not hit the rim.
Okay.
So that's the rule in that kind of situation right there. Monty Mack is feeding the post from his wing position, but Donnie Carr will not leave Mack, and therefore Mack cannot spot up on the perimeter right now. They need to run some screens for him.
That goes down as the 8th turnover for the Minutemen. LaSalle has turned it over 3 times. Carr and Mack, it goes inside to Wesson, the lone senior who was honored here tonight, and he is blocked by Ketner. And look at him getting the big body in motion to save that basketball.
Great hustle by Lari Ketner. Watch the lob. Not there. Smart play by Clark to hold things up. Didn't have a 5-on-4.
Ketner with a tough turnaround. Babel unable to get it on the offensive glass, and he's called for the foul.
Well, this is a frustrating time right now for UMass. They are going to Ketner, and Ketner is not coming up anything right here. Great defensive job by 2 power players in the Atlantic 10, and that's the kind of hustle you love to see from a 6'9", 260-pound guy.
Did you feel the floor when he ran by us? I mean, the floor was moving.
Maybe the Philadelphia Eagles could use it.
Blank's looking inside now. Here is Wesson. Wesson, tough left-hand hook, gets it back, tries to go up again and puts it in over the top of Ketner. Well,
persistence.
Yes, absolutely.
I really like that guy. He reminds me of Charles Barkley when he was at Auburn, when he was in college. A little bit of a wide body, not demonstrative like Sir Charles, but an inside guy who can take it to bigger people.
Mike Babel went to the basket. They get UMass on the board. They trail again now by 1. Here is Wesson. Nice up fake. He'll draw the foul this time from Ketner.
Well, what happened on that particular play is that Lari Ketner is having to guard Wesson inside one-on-one. Watch him. He's going to dribble the ball 3 or 4 times, and there's no double team. No UMass players coming. When you get caught in that situation, a guy like Wesson's impossible to guard. They need to come down on him a little bit. I think the reason they're not coming is they thought Ketner could play him by himself because he has the size advantage. And I think Bruiser Flint is probably concerned with the outside shooting of Donnie Carr and Victor Thomas.
33, Kidwana Reimer returns to the Minutemen lineup.
Kidwana Reimer comes back in now for UMass as Ketner sits down. Wesson hit the first free throw. He is a 70% free throw shooter. LaSalle as a team shoots nearly 70%. Wesson knocks them both down.
Right now, an interesting situation for Bruiser Flint with 5:45 to go in the first half. Ketner goes to the bench with 2 fouls. Wesson also leaves with 2 fouls. Speedy Morris trying to protect him from foul trouble as well. So the 2 inside forces are out. Look for Kirkland to get involved in the offense for UMass.
Here's Mack launching the 3, and Carr got the rebound. Donnie Carr kicks it out now. Here is Blanks. They're looking inside for Bragg. He is being watched inside by Reimer.
There is no power forward really in the game for LaSalle.
Tough turnaround from the baseline there by Thomas. Back comes Mack now. Oh, nearly tossed it away there. Blanks had that anticipated.
I like Blanks. He is a solid guy. Not much expression on his face. A freshman. Speedy Morris likes him. Feels like he's going to be an outstanding point guard as he develops. Doesn't look to shoot very much. He's got a lot of partners who do that.
Mack was blocked on the inside by Bragg. Minutemen get to the offensive glass. It's tipped around. Kirkland could not control it. Here comes Blanks on the move. Watched by Mack, and a steal here by Clark. Chasing is Butler, and Butler's not going to let him get an easy one. Good hustle by Rasual Butler.
Charlton Clark's foot is really bothering him. Watch on this play. He makes a nice steal here. A little casual with the ball as our freshman guard. his right foot is really bothering him. He does a good job of getting his body between the defense and the ball and drawing the foul, but you kind of feel for a guy like this who really was an explosive player during his career, has difficulty getting around people. He's a 1,000-point scorer.
Yes, he is.
And this year, averaging 9 a game only. Lots of his offense has been taken away from him, but his enthusiasm for the game continues. Physical, tough point guard.
Has started all but one of the last 84 games of his college career. You mentioned earlier he's got a stress fracture in his foot, so he doesn't practice full time. Puts in a lot of minutes, but it has affected his ability to go by people.
Please do not throw anything on
and the public address announcer announcing to the crowd to refrain from throwing things down the court. I did not see what came out on the court. But the warning being given that a technical foul can be called on the home team.
Well, hopefully a warning will suffice in this kind of a situation. The thing that always bothered me about that rule is, what if there's a guy from UMass here? He intentionally throws it out. Usually a warning is enough to establish the situation. As we see Charlton Clark, you can see him limping a little bit as he goes over to the bench.
That's Rafael Cruz coming in, and we weren't sure we were going to see him. Apparently he was not feeling well.
Had a little bit of a flu bug. Had a good game against George Washington. More of a two-guard than a point guard. From Puerto Rico originally. Went to high school in West Virginia, Wheeling.
There is, baby. What a great stroke he's got from outside the arc.
He was challenged by 2 players on that shot. His follow-through was a thing of beauty. Beautiful, beautiful looking shot by Victor Thomas.
Explorers with their biggest lead now is Kirkland. Too long on the baseline shot. Carr takes it to the paint, kicks it back out. Here is Butler. He'll try the 3. That is short. Rebound tipped by Thomas. And Thomas tried to call for the timeout, but did not get it before he made contact with the floor. Well, don't forget, we're counting down the top 50 athletes of the century on ESPN. And number 45, tennis great Bill Tilden, will be next, 10:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Pacific, Friday on ESPN. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, Go.com. 3:47 left here in the first half. It was UMass in the early going, but the Explorers lead by 5.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking to you today because I just renovated my kitchen, complete with stainless steel fridge, track lighting, Spanish tile floors, and a trash compactor. I'm not asking for much, just a little help in paying it off. Anyone? Sir?
How do you plan on paying for renovations?
Anyone?
A home improvement loan from Conseco can help. Conseco. Step up.
Dad?
You know what time it is?
Dad. Ooh, see, it was a party, and Vicky, Vicky.
Alien abduction shouldn't keep you out past your curfew. Now, this is gonna hurt you more than it's gonna hurt me.
No, Dad.
All beef patty, special sauce. Sing it with me, son.
Lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on the sesame seed bun.
We got some fries, too. Yeah.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
They are the unanimous #1 team in the country, and we've got the remaining schedule for the Blue Devils right here on ESPN and The Deuce. They'll be at DePaul tomorrow on ESPN 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on The Deuce against 14th ranked and their big rivals, the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Then Saturday, of course, we get the ACC tournament underway. That's all coming up here on ESPN2 and ESPN, and they're trying to become the first team since North Carolina in '87. They go undefeated in ACC regular season play. And we're back here in Atlantic 10 action. Dave Strader along with Bob Wenzel at the Tom Gola Arena here on the campus of LaSalle University. The Explorers of LaSalle and the Minutemen of UMass.
What's happening right now, Dave, for UMass is a typical drought that they've experienced this year. They are 1 for 10 in their last 10 field goal attempts. They've scored 3 points in the last 7 minutes and some seconds. So this is typical of UMass basketball this year. They struggle at times, and then they come back at other times. They put themselves in holes, and I think that Bruiser's talking right here about execution. He wants to get some screens for Monty Mack because he is not getting many clean shots so far in this game. As you can see right there, there's the drought that we talked about. And their problem is they lack balance. You know, they attempt to go to Ketner, and while they're doing that, Mack is ignored. And then when they go to Mack, they don't get the good balance inside. So they're in a slump right now. They will come out of it, obviously, during the course of this game, but they're trying to find some consistency.
Monty Mack just 2 points. Both of them came at the free throw line as he is 0 for 5 from the field. Mack comes in as the leading scorer on this UMass team, averaging just over 18 a game.
Well, they need to get him a lot more involved, that's for sure.
Ball is knocked away by Cruz. Minutemen in transition. Cruz tries to go to the basket, had it slapped away by Blanks. Back comes Carr now. The lob pass underneath the Butler, too strong. And Kirkland chases it down. Cruz calling for a set play.
You don't see much pressure defense from LaSalle. They play solid man-to-man defense in the half court is what they'd like to try to do. They don't press much because they don't have a lot of players. 5 or 6 guys play.
Reimer unable to get that 6-footer to go, so the struggles from the floor continue for UMass. As Blanks wheels it around, here is Butler. On the spin move, there's a long-range one-hand hook that is a bit strong.
But no fast break for UMass right here. They're walking up the floor, maybe a little fatigued right now in some of their players. They don't look like they have spirit in their step right now. They're going to set something up for Mack. He's going to come off baseline screens right here.
There is Mack, goes inside now.
Notice how nobody leaves Mack when he's double-teamed inside. He's all alone out there with somebody on him. And he's not able to get any shots. And the other guy's not doing it right now.
Yeah, Babel had a couple of cracks at it there. Got his own rebound off the miss and then missed the putback. So it's still a 5-point advantage for the Explorers. And we're down almost to a minute and a half left here in the first half. Here is Blanks putting it on the floor and a whistle as he was going to the basket. Well, starting tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, the Anderson Consulting Match Play World Championship. In the NCAAs, we have the field of 64, the 64 best golfers, starting with top-ranked Tiger Woods, and he will be matched up in his first round match against Nick Faldo. It all gets underway tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.
Tiger Woods, I love watching him play. The question is he better than David Duval?
Yeah, well, you know what? Match play is what Tiger was all about, of course, as an amateur, and he should like the format, but Nick Faldo, a seasoned veteran. That'll be a great match to start things off.
Faldo coming in as a substitute. Didn't really qualify and getting his opportunity.
Mass looking for an opportunity here to get on the board, and Matt unable to get a field goal down so far here in the first half. Reimer puts it up and in, and the basket will count. So Kit Reimer, the 6'10 sophomore out of St. Thomas, the Virgin Islands.
Right here, defended well by a taller player is Mack. Reimer in the right place at the right time. And Wesson, afraid of foul trouble, does not challenge him. Wesson with 2 fouls. Take a look at Victor Thomas. Doing a great job tonight. Really can shoot. Beautiful looking stroke. That young man.
Well, Reimer with a 3-point play goes over his season average.
Well, I think Bruiser's looking for different players, different combinations. When you stall out, that's what you have to do. When you're struggling offensively, you're not getting things done, things struggling a little bit for you, got to try different players.
Here is Carr, and he has struggled as well. So the 2 guards that are second and third respectively in Atlantic 10 scoring, a 20-second timeout has been called. Both of the guards are struggling. And we remind you to stay with us here on ESPN2 as ESPN News will take over at the half. An ACC thriller goes to overtime, and Dr. Tom says goodbye. Tom Davis, of course, of Iowa.
Not a healthy situation in my estimation. I hate to see something like that happen. Tom will be leaving Iowa at the end of this year. Has done wonderful things for that school over the course of lots and lots of years. Winning as coach in their school history. A little controversy in Iowa about that situation.
Well, the problem with UMass is Wesson, the lone senior who was honored before the game tonight, takes a seat.
I really like this player. This is the first time I've seen him in person. I've seen tape on him. I like the way he moves inside. He has confidence in his game. He's got 10 points already in this game. Averages a double-double. He's playing against bigger players in this contest.
Back comes off the screen, hits off the back of the rim. Kirkland chasing it down, able to save it. And we're down to 25 seconds, so the shot clock is turned off. Clark.
They can take the last shot if they want to, and they have possession of the ball to start the second half as well. So in the best situation, it could be a 4-point play for them.
Clark trying to take Plank one-on-one, and it's knocked away. Jordan hands it off. 5 seconds left. Blank puts it to the corner. Butler, nice up fake. Gets a good look here.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Nice pump fake by Butler. Sound one-on-one play.
Well, you mentioned, Coach, it could have been a 4-point situation for UMass with the ball at the end of the first half, and they'll have it to start the second half. But a great defensive play by the Explorers and a basket by Butler put an end to that. The Explorers lead by 6. ESPN News takes over on the other side of this.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by the complete line of 1999 Lincoln automobiles. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be.
This is an extraordinary little device, this is. It places your data on a seamless global network, the only global network owned by a single company. Suddenly, Paris, London, Brussels, Dusseldorf are 60 milliseconds away. 60 milliseconds. Now, don't you wish you could travel like that? Be careful what you wish for. On Net from MCI WorldCom.
How to speak Australian. Witness Protection Program. Beer. Foster's. Australian for beer.
Your dog called?
Yeah, said he needed tuition money for obedience school.
Meet the man who didn't send the money, Western Union.
So it never got there.
And the heartbreak it caused.
No, he won't talk to me.
Later tonight.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money worldwide.
From the worldwide leader in sports, this is ESPN News.
Warmest of welcomes to those of you watching the Explorers and the Minutemen on ESPN2. You're now watching ESPN News. Dave Revson, Bill Seward getting you caught up on everything else going on in the world of sports. And we start you off appropriately enough with more college hoop.
Definitely more hoop. Riding the big wave of victory over Connecticut Saturday, the Miami Hurricanes look to win their 7th consecutive game tonight, take a large step toward clinching second place in the Big East as they hosted Pittsburgh. The Canes were tied with St. John's for second in the conference and finished the regular season against Rutgers, while the Red Storm will host Notre Dame and visit Villanova. Panthers and Canes tonight in Miami, and Kelly Taylor for 3, and Pittsburgh up by 3 at that point, but Miami would bounce back. Mario Bland, anything but, working inside and laying in 2 of his 16. Miami up by a half dozen. Second half, the Canes on a roll. Ricardo Greer blocked by Tim James. Canes go the other way. And John Salmons for 3 of his 9. He also had 13 rebounds. The Canes up 15. And then you saw the blocking ability by James. What about the dunking ability? 2 of his 20. And the Canes victorious in this one. 7 straight wins for Miami. Pittsburgh gets 17 from Vonteego Cummings, but loses for the 6th time in the last 8 tries. Wake Forest, North Carolina, first half. Robert O'Kelly. This is known as going coast to coast for the three-point play. 31-22 Wake at the half, 13 for O'Kelly. Second half, the Heels battle back. Off the missed three-pointer by Okalaja, Brendan Haywood putting it home. He had 16 and more Heels. Jason Capel driving off to Chris Lang. He had 16. The three-point play there. We're tied at 47. Under a minute left, tied at 55, and Okalaja from distance. Another player with 16 points in the game, 58-55 Heels. And then Wake Forest turn. O'Kelly fouled by Capel while shooting the 3. Capel can't believe it. O'Kelly hit only 1 of his 3 free throws. The Demon Deacons one last chance, down by 3 with 7 seconds left, and O'Kelly doing the Shamrock Shake and getting the 3. Tying the game at 59, we go to overtime and NOT. Capel, when not fouling, an excellent shooter. 10 points for Jason. Tar Heels up by 2. They go on to win by 3 despite 28 by O'Kelly. For North Carolina, they complete a sweep of Wake Forest this season and their 4th win in the last 5 games.
The ad appeared in the classified section of the Cedar Rapids Gazette this weekend. It announced a vacancy for the head basketball coach at the University of Iowa. Would the school consider a guy who's beaten 12 coaches who have won national championships in the last 13 years, a guy who's on the verge of making his 9th NCAA tourney in that span, a guy who's won 80% of his home games? Well, Tom Davis has done all of that at Iowa, but clearly it's not enough. Davis being forced out tonight's battle with Northwestern, his final home game. Adding to the emotion, senior night at Carver Hawkeye, and there is Dr. Tom leading the troops onto the court for the final time, at least final time at home. Jess settles. The 6th-year senior hits a 3. He had 16. More Iowa. Settles to another senior, J.R. Koch, who throws it down. 11 points for Koch, then more of the same. Working down low. Koch right over Evan Eschmeyer. Kevin O'Neill bumming. 17-0. Iowa out to the early lead. And from there, they played to a 48-48 tie. Iowa wins it 65-48. The Hawkeyes won both meetings with the Wildcats this season. They're now 15-1 against Northwestern all-time at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Wildcats' 5th straight loss. The reigning Iowa Mr. Basketball, David Newman, led the Wildcats with 11. Eschmeyer held the season lows, 8 points and 3 boards. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, Minnesota visiting Purdue. First half, it's Carson Cunningham, the Oregon State transfer. He nails the 3. Purdue up by 1. Minnesota coming back, though, behind Kevin Clark. The 3, and he is fouled by Brian Cardinal. 4-point play would put
on ESPN on the Deuce. It all gets underway this coming Saturday, February 27th, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. 61 games, 29 conference championships. We'll have extensive coverage of the ACC, the Big East, and Big Ten tournament. It all gets underway noon Eastern this coming Saturday. We're at halftime here at LaSalle. The Explorers with a 6-point lead. We'll be back with highlights right after this.
Beer is the best it can be at the brewery, fresh and at its peak of taste. Light, heat, and age are all enemies of beer that work against its taste from the moment it leaves the brewery. Budweiser's 12 local breweries ensure that your Budweiser is fresh and has not been subject to long trips. So you might say your Budweiser has less miles on it, and that means it'll taste like it does straight from its source.
Ed was an ordinary guy who agreed to put his life on TV.
Morning, I'm Ed.
I think he's cute.
24 hours a day.
I just wanted to say I really love your show.
Now,
oh my, you gotta see this.
the whole world can't stop watching.
Oh, hot damn. I love this show, bro.
Ed TV, a new comedy from Ron Howard.
Mr. President?
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, March 26th at theaters everywhere.
Hi, we're in Miami. We got a sink,
Bottle of Pert Plus shampoo with clean conditioning. We're washing hair and changing minds. Excuse me, ma'am. And I've got a sink right here in the top stylist suite.
Oh, no.
And I've got a sink right over there. And no, it's okay. Wait. It's new Pert Plus. It's reformulated. It's got water-based conditioning. I want over here to treat her. So it's going to leave your hair feeling clean. And here we go.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, once again, Pert Plus with clean conditioning. Come on, let us wash your hair. I guarantee you we can change your mind. Excuse me. Excuse me.
What do Brazilian chocolates, Filipino soft drinks, German motor cars, and the South China Morning Post have in common?
You got to have this, and this.
They're all made in factories that use Siemens industrial systems.
Before you eat, or you drink, or you write, or you read, there is this, and this.
All over the world, we make a lot of things that make a lot of things.
So for this, or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
The two third-place teams in their respective divisions in the Atlantic 10 and the Explorers with a 6-point lead at the half. Dave Strader back along with Bob Wenzel. To say the least, neither team shot the basketball very well at all. UMass got off to a 5-point lead on 2 or 3 occasions early. And I guess the most you could say for LaSalle was they took advantage of some opportunities in the open court.
Well, they really did. They took advantage and got some fast breaks. Victor Thomas goes long on a very, very nice alley-oop pass. Half-court play by Donnie Carr. Carr showing that he can make some passes in the absence of his scoring. Hasn't scored in the first half yet. Fast break situations have been the difference right here. UMass not getting any. Victor Thomas coming up big on both ends of those kinds of fast break situations. The matchups inside have been very interesting. Ketner and Wesson. This is where it was going to get started, and no double team here in time, and early in the game, Ketner got off. Wesson had 10 rebounds and uses a spin move inside and a very effective left hand. Notice no double team, and as a result, he's got a lot of room to operate with the use of the dribble. And there you see the numbers on the matchup inside. Neither playing well in terms of field goal percentage, but both contributing to their cause.
And we talked about the stats and we highlight the field goal percentage. UMass made 3 of their first 5, so you do the math to figure out what they did the rest of the way, finishing 8 for 33 and just 24%. And I guess when you look at those numbers, especially from the UMass side, look at that, 2 assists, 9 turnovers. They're only down by 6. They got the ball to start the half.
The reason for all of these numbers being on the low side right now is because both of the 2 top scorers are 0 for 7 from the field. Monty, Mack, and Carr both 0 for 7 from the field, and that doesn't happen very often.
Well, we mentioned that these 2 teams are in 3rd place in their respective divisions. That's important because the top 2 teams in each division get a bye. And as you take a look, the last place team there, Duquesne, that is who UMass would draw in a first-round Atlantic 10 matchup. If they hang on to 3rd place, LaSalle would face the last place team over in the East. And right now, that would be St. Joe's, who come into this final week at 3-11. And UMass looking to get to the 500 mark. The other thing, Bob, that UMass has to consider, if they can get back to 500, win 1 game in the Atlantic 10, even if they should lose in the second round, finish at 500, they got a shot at an NIT bid.
Well, the NIT is a very important possibility for them. You have to be 500 to qualify for the NIT. That doesn't guarantee that you're going. But the NIT is a subjective evaluation. They choose who they want to, the Metropolitan Intercollegiate Basketball Association. And a team like UMass would be attracted to them.
Here was Wesson, and Ketner got a piece of that one.
More of the same. First 2 possessions, both teams going to their inside presence. Wesson and Lari Ketner getting their opportunities early. I really think that they've got to do more to free their 2 guards.
Here is Ketner. Babel is the guy that's open, puts it off the glass, no good, but Kirkland there to clean it up on the glass. And Kirkland, who had 10 rebounds in that first half, will get credit for another one on the putback.
He quietly gets things done. You know, I mean, he's a guy who gets after it. He's got to establish himself. If Mack isn't going to do that, he's had 2 very good games in a row.
Rasual Butler, who closed out the first half with that nice baseline jumper after the up fake. Now here is Carr, watched by Matt. Neither of these great guards with a field goal, and Carr still looking for his first. As Clark now running the floor, hands it off to Kirkland. He'll go hard to the basket, lays it up too strong. And the Explorers with a rebound. Here is Thomas. Well, he got the roll on the 3, but it hit the shot clock. That won't count.
Speedy Morris trying to do his best to get the call on his behalf. A very experienced coach. Why not? It really didn't hit the clock.
No,
Ed Corbett, the official,
and that
says
nice
it did.
spin on it.
That's all that matters.
Here's Kirkland. Butler won't challenge him out there on the arc. Here is Ketner inside. That jump hook, he had it going early on. I can't get it going here, but there's Kirkland with another rebound, his 12th.
He's got the hops, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Butler a little bit frustrated that he wasn't able to get a blockout situation right there. Let's take a look at this on the weak side. Look on the weak side of your screen, folks. Try not to look at the ball right here. Kirkland easily inside. Butler not putting his body on anyone, and his body is thin as it is. He's got to make the best use of it.
Here you see his numbers over the last 6 games. And hits the free throw. 7 of his rebounds have been on the offensive glass for Bruiser Flint. In a rare moment to see him sitting down. He wants that sideline and works the sideline when he's coaching the game.
What Bruiser has to do is figure out how to get some offense in the game. He's obviously at halftime when they go to Ketner the first few possessions. That's going to continue to be their strategy.
Carr quickly kicks it inside. Wesson against the bigger Ketner. Shot off the glass and in. Ketner's got a couple of fouls, so Wesson's going to force him to play some defense. Here's Kirkland. Going strong to the basket, lays it in. It'll count, and he's fouled.
It's a very, very nice move by Kirkland. He's taking on the offensive role. You can see clearly that he wants to do something on Butler and took the ball to the paint very strongly here. Let's take a look. Ketner gaining a lot of yellow shirts around him. And Butler not playing very good defense. And Kirkland taking advantage.
Butler got called for the foul, his 3rd, as you see. Kirkland, the cousin of all-pro linebacker LeVon Kirkland, who plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, you like when a guy goes through and doesn't play maybe for a couple of years. He's a junior right now, getting his opportunity, and he's making the most. He didn't sit around and complain when he wasn't playing, just kept working.
Victor Thomas, nice handoff there to Wesson, lays it in. Back to a 4-point lead, a steal. Wesson, oh, he loses it. They go inside to Ketner, nice up fake. He'll put it off the glass, and he gets the roll.
Fortunate bounce right there for the Minutemen. Get them back to 2. They take pride in their half-court defense. Last possession was a little bit too easy for Bruiser Flint's taste, I'm sure.
Blank's looking inside. Here is Wesson again against Ketner. Kicks it back to Blank.
Carr's open.
They go instead to Thomas. Pulls up. Nice looking shot. Victor Thomas.
He does have a sweet stroke, doesn't he? Very smooth kind of player. Tall and thin. Sophomore.
Table bound. He gets into the paint, but ran out of room there. Has to kick it back out. Clark looking inside. Here's Ketner. Fakes one way, tries to go the other. And that ball was tipped as he tried to get the shot away. Here comes Blanks now. In the open court. Nice bounce pass to Thomas. He fumbled it for a moment. Forces it up, no good. No good by Thomas, and Ketner gets the rebound.
You know, I don't see Monty Mack involved at all here. The last few times, he's been on the weak side when Ketner gets the ball and gets doubled. Watch underneath the basket. They're setting 2 screens for him right now, but not executing very well.
Ketner looked like he motioned to Bruiser Flint that he is winded and needs to come out. And indeed, Reimer, number 33, is over at the scores table.
Chris Kirkland carrying the Minutemen on his shoulders right now. Getting it not by going to him, getting it out of the mix and out of the flow.
And there is Carr.
The crowd is up for Carr. They're saying, where have you been, Donnie?
1 for 9 with that field goal. And
See, watch this. No double team right here.
There's Kirkland again to the offensive board. He has tied his career high with 13 rebounds already and doing most of the damage on the offensive glass. Here is Wesson, fade away, and he gets the roll. The senior, Cassell Wesson, urging the crowd.
You're right. Ketner looks tired, walking up and down the floor right now.
Inside Babel with a two-hand slam.
Massachusetts basket by number 23.
Well, he's missed a couple trying to put it off the glass, so when you don't have the soft touch rolling.
Look at these guys walking up the floor right now, Dave. Those Salle players are tired as well. They're just waiting for that timeout.
Here's Carr now, maybe a renewed sense of confidence. Hands it up, and a big slam there by Thomas, but there was a whistle first.
Well, when you only play 5 guys, and a guy like Carr who plays 40 minutes a game, he's got to find ways to rest, and you can't do it on defense. You got to do it as the ball comes up the floor.
Babel with authority. It's a 4-point Explorer lead.
How to speak Australian.
Oi!
Wake up call. Beer. Foster's. Australian for beer.
Where do they find this one?
Chapel Hill.
Toxicology?
Negative.
Morning, Frank.
Morning.
How do you plan on funding your retirement? Conseco's annuities and mutual funds can help. Conseco, step up.
Tired of being a loser, Fuzzy? Why not play 7-Up Score for $1 Million game? You can win a chance to shoot for $1 million, free 7-Up, or other great prizes. I know. If you only had a mouth.
Welcome back to Philadelphia, where LaSalle holds a slight lead. And this, if you can believe, is Donnie Carr's first basket of the game. 19 points a game. He gets his first 2, and the crowd erupts in his favor. And the 2 guards we thought would have tremendous games, the second and third leading scorers in the league, each only with 2 points, 0 for 7, 1 for 9. And something's going to have to give here in the next 14 minutes. I expect them to get active.
Wesson off the inbound play, but there was a whistle before the block, and there was a holding foul. This was the first time that Monty Mack went the entire first half without a field goal.
And Winston Smith in the game. Bruins are looking for somebody to give them an offensive lift. And Winston Smith might be able to do that. Sat out all last year, was a good scorer his first year at UMass. Knee injury. Now he's back.
Donnie Carr, nice bounce pass to Thomas. He draws some attention as he tried to slam it home.
Well, Carr getting involved right here from the standpoint of passing. Check this play out right here. Carr is going to draw people to him. 3 UMass players on him, and as a result, Thomas the beneficiary of being open. So Donnie Carr, although not scoring, drawing defenses to him, trying to create offense for his teammates.
He has 2 shots.
Foul was on number 33, Kit Reimer. So Victor Thomas, you see what he's done so far with his 12 points and 7 rebounds.
St. John Newman High School in Philadelphia as a sophomore, averaged about 10 a game last year, up to 16 a game this year. Thomas, a smooth operator. I'd like to see him get in the weight room a little bit. Build up that body. He could have a future.
Has a career high of 31 points, which he accomplished twice this year against Howard and Duquesne. Also has 3 steals. As Winston Smith gathers in the rebound off the missed free throw. It's a 5-point advantage now for the Explorers of LaSalle. Here is Mack looking for his first basket, and he can't get that one to go down. A Reimer there for the offensive putback.
You know, it's funny with UMass right now, the best thing that they can do is throw the ball up on the glass and miss like they have been doing, and then just attack the offensive boards. It's been their most efficient way to score.
Here is Carr. Inside, Wesson has it batted away by Reimer, but the foul was on Kirkland before the block.
Well, right now, Speedy Morris was talking to Carr at that last timeout, and he was explaining to him to get involved. And right now, last play we saw him do something positive for a teammate. He does it again here. Drew the double team when he came off the high screen, and as a result, Wesson getting a chance to go to the line. Thomas went to the line on the last possession. Nice looking free throw, Kazel. Shoots about 70% from the free throw line. I like his hairdo also.
Leads the Atlantic 10 in rebounding. He is 10th in the nation in that statistic. At over 10 a game. As you mentioned, the only A-10 player to average a double-double.
He reminds me of a little bit of Chris Porter from Auburn. The junior college player is doing very, very well at Auburn. Same kind of body.
Mack threw the ball away. He thought it was touched by LaSalle, but apparently not. More NCAA basketball here on the Deuce. Tomorrow, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. The Florida State Seminoles will take on the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com. Here was Carr. He tried to feed it down low to Butler. It was knocked out of bounds.
LaSalle now trying to continue to run the same play. A high screen and roll. Let Carr do something off it.
Thomas being watched by Smith. Smith, an excellent defender. Thomas will test him, and Smith, I think, got a piece of that. But Thomas got the offensive rebound. Here's Carr launching a long three, but he had a good look at that one and knocks it down. And the crowd of nearly 3,800 enjoying that. It's now an 8-point lead for the Explorers. Biggest lead of the ball game. Here is Clark now. He gets the 12-footer to drop. Well, when you're not a great shooting ball club or a strong offensive team, it puts a lot of pressure on your defense when you're playing from behind. Behind the back, Carr, but he bounced a little bit too hard. And last touch by Kazel Wesson.
A little extra mustard on that one.
Yeah.
Sometimes guys do fancy things that are required. You know, the defense steps in front of them and they need a behind-the-back pass. Sometimes they do it for flair, and I think most coaches would prefer the fancy plays when they're useful.
Yeah. When it's necessary. Ketner back in the ball game.
Check this graphic out. 6 points in the last 11 and 10.
Ketner hands it off. Babel lays it in. Good reaction there by Ketner to spot Babel cutting after he had picked up his dribble.
Well, UMass players, Babel and especially Kirkland, realizing that when their man leaves them to double the post, the best thing for them to do is cut to the basket and get to the offensive boards. And that's how UMass is playing offensively in this second half.
Rasual Butler, tough fadeaway there. Too strong. Rebound tipped by Ketner. Now he grabs it. Hands it off to Clark.
Mack is open.
He'll try the three, and that was short. Rebound tipped by Babel. He went to the floor after it. Bruiser Flint upset with something. He immediately goes to somebody on the bench. Ball out of bounds. Last touch, I believe, by the Minutemen. Bruiser Flint not happy with what he has seen so far, and he'll talk about it during this timeout with his team trailing by 4.
Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers have factory-trained technicians. The parts made for your vehicle. And everyday low prices on the services you need most. Now get brake service for $95 or less installed. And a Motorcraft Tested Tough Series battery for $59.95. The right people, the right parts, and always the right prices. Quality care service at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
At your service, quality care. I hope I see you there.
Wow. Suck the ceramic off the plate.
Yeah, and tip me a lousy $1. Thanks for nothing.
Keep your hairnet on. You can get a 20-minute phone call for under $1.
You gotta stop drinking at breakfast.
He's talking about 10-10-220. Dial it and you can yak up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents. All day, every day.
The wise man in the silly hat.
Say I talk over 20 minutes, big shot, huh?
It's only 10 cents each extra minute.
I guess the $1 does go a long way.
Yeah, it's not a bad tip. Hey, can I get a few more stains on this menu?
Lock the car.
How about,
Pepsi One!
We don't do 1 calorie.
We don't do 1 calorie. You'll do this. Let me help.
New Pepsi 1 calorie.
This tastes great.
True cola taste.
Many of the landmarks here reflecting the history of the great city of Philadelphia. You're looking at the Ben Franklin Bridge, and this arena here reflecting the history of LaSalle basketball. Tom Gola Arena, and that is Bruiser Sr.
That's Bruiser's dad, very much involved in the youth and basketball in the Philadelphia area, Sunny Hill League in the summertime. And take a look at these stats. The starters, 44 points. The bench, 1 point, 3 rebounds. And, of course, the Iron Men for LaSalle, characteristic of their play all year. 6 players doing most of the action. If you're one of those 6, it's great.
Yeah, that's right. Garrett Bragg is back in there spelling Casell Wesson right now. It's a 4-point lead.
It does limit the things that you can do, however, when you play like that. Bragg has been the substitute for Wesson. You know, it's difficult when you play like that to get after people full court. You can't change the pace of the game very much with your defense because you're playing only 5 guys. They're going to get fatigued, and the substitutes can't possibly get involved.
Bruiser Flint made a change. He's got Cruz number 13 back in there for Monty Mack. His blank, drawing a blank there on the three-pointer. People, whoa. Was that a hard collision?
Garrett Bragg gave Babel a shot. A nice challenge defensively there. Makes the shot go off key, and Bragg didn't mean it. He was just going after the basketball. The big guy taking up space while Wesson is resting.
Here is Babel being challenged by Thomas inside for Kirkland, and we have a foul against the Minutemen.
I believe Ketner pushed off inside.
Yes, he did. That is his 3rd personal foul, so Bruiser Flint perhaps with a decision here with a little over half of his second half still remaining. Dave Strader along with Bob Wenzel, the rest of our ESPN2 college basketball crew. Glad you're with us here.
You know, Garrett Bragg can do a good job on a guy like Ketner. He'd have more difficulty guarding Kirkland. If UMass went small and left Kirkland in there, he'd get around Bragg pretty easily. But Bragg bounces around inside with Ketner and can be effective on him.
Donnie Carr telling the official he was hit on the elbow on that shot. As Park starts it back. UMass hanging around in spite of their poor shooting. Here's Ketner. No good. Going to the offensive board. Kirkland and Babel unable to get it as Blanks comes back now. The freshman point guard hands it off to Carr. Bragg sets the screen.
Carr much more involved in the second half handling the basketball than he was in the first half.
Bragg unable to get the turnaround. Nice play on the offensive glass and the putback. And Carr getting it done underneath. Can't get the outside shot to fall.
Amen. Go inside. Go somewhere. Watch Monty Mack here away from the basketball. He's 40 feet away. Not involved in the offense at all in the second half is Monty Mack. I don't know whether he's feeling any frustration. If I was him, I would. Check him out on the perimeter. The action's totally away from him. And they switch on him. He wanders around way out by the Tom Gola Arena sign. He is not involved at all, and UMass needs for him to be.
Well, you see Bragg with his 4th personal foul, and so he did spell Wesson for a few minutes. Threw his big body around. Inside, Ketner. Tipped up by Kirkland, no good. Ketner again, can't control. Babel has it. Up fake, he goes off the glass, gets it down, and draws the foul.
A little activity. Babel is a good jumper, gets off his feet very, very well. And trying to get on the offensive boards. I think Babel and Kirkland here, as we can see, Bruiser looking on, a little happy about this one. They are getting active on the offensive boards, and that's what they need to do because their outside shooting is anemic at this point. So you got to do something else. And getting to the free throw line helps.
Mike Babel, the junior out of North Attleboro, Massachusetts, able to complete the three-point play. That was the third foul on Kazel Wesson. And it's back to a three-point lead for the Explorers. Here is Butler. Tough fadeaway there. Babel doing a good job defensively. He was on the Atlantic 10 all-defensive team a year ago. Babel looking inside. Has to go across instead to Charles Clark. He looks inside for Ketner. Kicks it back out, Lonnie Mack. He takes it to the lane, lays it up, no good, and the rebound down to Thomas. Here is Carr now in the open court. He's got blanks coming, pulls up instead for the three, and drains it. Three-pointer for Carr, and it's a 6-point LaSalle lead.
LaSalle likes to shoot the three on the break. It's a percentage play. If you have numbers and miss, you have an opportunity on the offensive boards for your teammates to clean up.
Carr now is at 4 of his last 5. Here is Kirkland. He'll try the long one. That's not the shot they're looking for from Chris Kirkland. And two of the UMass assistants put their hands up behind their head almost in unison. And Ketner knocks it away.
Ketner doubled over right now. I think he's feeling it fatigue-wise. I don't think it was hitting his stomach or anything, but Ed Corbett checking him out. Let's see if he got hit right here in the stomach as he went up. Not much there. Nice block by Ketner. I think he's just a little fatigued. Using his size to his advantage.
I think you're right. I don't think he was hit there at all. Here is Blanks now. Wesson wants it on the inside against Reimer. Takes it in strong. Puts it up too strong.
Let's see if Mack gets involved more now that Ketner is out of the game. See if he feels like he can take more responsibility. Right now he's away from the ball in the opposite corner, hanging. Carr on him.
Reimer with the high screen. Oh, look at Wesson jump out there. Clark pulls up for the three, and he is fouled on the three-pointer.
That was the first smooth execution play they've run in the second half other than going inside.
Number 5, Julian Blanks.
Check this pick and roll out right here. There is a switch, and Clark gets a pretty clean look, and he has to get fouled. And has an opportunity for 3 free throws. I think UMass should run a lot of that same kind of thing. Mack is coming off a high screen, creating offense. Earlier in this half, as we take a look at Ketner, who's been their main offensive thrust in this game. Earlier in the second half, LaSalle went to that kind of action. I think it would be fortuitous for UMass to do the same.
Clark trying to make it 2 out of 3. Able to do that and cuts it down to a 4-point lead for the Explorers. 7 minutes, 38 seconds remaining here in the second half of the Tom Gola Arena on senior night here in LaSalle. We'll be back with more on the news right after this.
Whether you're busy taking the kids to soccer practice or staying late at the office, it's nice to know you've got FYI to keep you informed.
Mom, when am I going to get my own car?
As soon as we pay for your college bill.
Mom, I'm not even in college yet.
Be patient, dear. Be patient.
FYI is information at your fingertips with current news, sports, and weather, and you won't find a more complete connection to your local marketplace anywhere on cable.
Honey, what's for dinner?
Meatloaf. Why?
Well, how about if we go to the Italian place in town?
And what's the matter with my meatloaf?
FYI brings you the people who help sell your home, buy a car, even take a vacation. And FYI is your source for local retail information, which sure beats leafing through a phone book or paying an operator to get the number for you. Tune to FYI to stay informed on what's going on in your neighborhood and everyone else's.
Dad, I'm gonna watch the rest of the game.
It's time for bed, son. You can check the score tomorrow morning on FYI.
All right, good night.
Good night.
FYI. Give us a look.
Your teeth, do I have to use a toothpaste with bleach or peroxide?
Absolutely not. Aquafresh Whitening has a patented tri-clean formula that gently breaks up stains to get teeth whiter. Crest doesn't have it, neither does Colgate. And Aquafresh is safe to use every day.
And this tri-clean really works?
Laboratory tests prove Aquafresh whitens so well, not even Rembrandt beats it.
Now you're talking.
Aqua Fresh Whitening. Safe to use every day for dazzling whiter teeth.
Welcome back to the Tom Gola Arena, named after the all-time great LaSalle player, and the Explorers with a 4-point lead. The Tom Gola Arena here on the campus of LaSalle University. Dave Strader along with Bob Wenzel. Glad you're with us here tonight on our college basketball coverage on The Deuce. And there is Jack Lehman, who was the head coach at UMass from 1966-67 through the 78-79 seasons. And congratulations, Jack, recently inducted into the UMass Sports Hall of Fame. He and Bruiser Flint both took 87 games as coaches at UMass to get to 50 wins, and that's tied for the second fastest 50 wins in the school's history.
And Lari Ketner is 4 for 16 from the field. Jack Lehman would need to get somebody in there.
Yeah,
that's exactly what Bruiser Flint did for a while.
Jack Lehman, of course, coached the great Dr. J, Julius Erving, who played just 2 years before going to the ABA to play against the likes of Bob Wenzel.
Jumped over my head one time in a game. You know, it's great to get into one of those highlight reels where Michael Jordan or Dr. J is jumping over you and dunking.
Hey, at least you were there. Mack goes inside. Here is Kirkland. He's been
interesting change right here, Dave. Instead of trying to establish Ketner, they're going inside to Kirkland, who's been their hot man the last 2 games. Very wise decision right here. Check this out right here, folks. Normally, Mack is entering here, and this would normally be Lari Ketner. But they're going inside and trying to take advantage of Kirkland's hot hand, and Ketner only being 4 for 16 in the game. Nice bit of coaching by Bruiser Flint. Now, if he could find a way to get Mack involved, they might have a better chance.
Kirkland was unable to complete the 3-point play, so it remains a 2-point advantage for the Explorers after the Kirkland basket. Wesson trying to go inside to Carr. Nice defensive play there by Mack. He knocked it away. He's running the floor. Clark can't get it to him. Charlton Clark now.
I think part of Mack's problems are number 12, Donnie Carr. He's been with him the whole time. Carr taking a lot of responsibility defensively, taking pride in his defense this year.
Mack tried to go inside, and that pass was tipped away.
Well, they're trying to establish Kirkland again.
Ronnie Mack 0 for 10 from the floor.
He's got one here.
He's got a good look at it. You called it, Coach. Ran him off with 2 screens.
Well, finally, they got some screens for him in the out-of-bounds situation. It'd be great if they did more of that. From their standpoint, we got ourselves a game. This is going to be exciting, going down.
Well, speaking of excitement, plenty of it coming on Championship Week, presented by 7-Up. 61 games here on the Deuce and ESPN, 29 conference championship, extensive coverage of the ACC, Big East, and Big Ten tournaments. It kicks off noon Eastern on this Saturday, February 27th, and ends with the College Basketball Men's Selection Show on March 7th. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Well, that is Speedy Morris's wife taking in the action here at the Tom Gola Arena. And feeling the tension, Mimi Morris.
Well, right now we're going to see interesting developments right here. Let's see if Carr and Monty Mack become the men at the end game.
Ketner with a defensive rebound. And Clark with the closed fist, indicating a set play here. Mack coming off the screen.
He and Kirkland, 2-man game. Nice defense right there. Keep him out of the paint.
Kick it to Clark, moves it quickly to Mack. 15 still on the shot clock. Mack faked that he was going to hit the screen. Oh, and he almost got the left-hand shot down.
Boy, was that a quick move. Looked like he got a little bit of a flat tire. Turned his ankle a little bit on the way in. Wasn't able to finish.
Here is Carr. Tough 3, and he drains it. Didn't have a lot of room off the screen, but he didn't need much.
You have to admire Donnie Carr. Shut out in the first half for the second time this year. Happened once before against GW. And he's coming back strong in the second half. When it's tight, he wants the play to play.
Nice look inside by Clark, hitting Kirkland, who draws the foul from that man, Thomas.
Let's take a look at Donnie Carr coming off this screen right here. A very nice screen set, and Ketner retreated. Probably should have stayed up on him. Just gave him enough time to get that 3 off. First half, 0. Second half, 13. 5 for 7 from the field in the second half. A big turnaround for Donnie Carr.
You know how great offensive players think. If you're hot, give me the ball. I want to keep shooting. If you're cold, I got to shoot my way out of the slump, coach.
That's right.
Let me get
it
out.
all adds up to more shooting, doesn't it?
Career high 15 rebounds. Boy, does this young man ever develop.
He does it silently, though, too. Doesn't he, Dave? You know,
Not a lot of flair. That's right.
Yeah, no flair. I mean, all of a sudden he's got 12, 14 rebounds and 20-something points. Charlton Clark trying to do something off the dribble. High pick and roll with Kirkland. See what develops out of it.
The Salle defended it well. They made the proper switches so they didn't have a mismatch on the inside. Mack goes inside to Kirkland. Aggressively kicks it to the board, lays it up, no good. Tipped up again, and Blanks has it now. As LaSalle comes back the other way with the ball in a 2-point lead. Alley-oop for Thomas, too hard. Ketner with authority. Oh, looks like he almost blocked his own shot.
Hit it on the bottom of the rim.
Now Blanks, the freshman. LaSalle slowing it down. They've got the 2-point lead. 4 minutes straight up left here in the second half. Carr takes it. Tough running one-hander. Collision and an offensive foul. Carr a bit out of control.
And our man Kirkland coming up with a defensive play as well. Donnie doesn't like the call. Talking about the fact that he was shooting.
Salle fouls number 12, Donnie Carr, his second personal foul. Team's 9th.
Let's take a look. You be the judge. Certainly gets into the lane. I think clearly Kirkland is there.
Yeah, pretty good call. I don't know whether he thought he may have gotten hit by one of the other players on the way in, but
I think he just
was begging.
No guys really think they ever foul. Of course, they don't have the value of the ISO monitor to get a second look.
UMass with the 1-1. 19th foul. Well, they can't take advantage. That's twice now. They've missed the front end of a 1-1, trailing by 2.
Well, they are not a good free throw shooting team, UMass, and as a result, in tough post games, sometimes that can come up and bite you. Almost hurt them in the Xavier game. They missed 2 1-and-1s, but were able to survive that one.
Will UMass be able to take advantage of the free throw line, and will LaSalle be able to take better care of the basketball? They've turned it over 4 times of late, but they lead it by 2.
Stolen moments with the one you love. Is it wrong?
Heck no. Not if you love that one-of-a-kind 2 all-beef patty taste of McDonald's Big Mac.
Thought you said this place was secluded.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
Lincoln Mercury and Ford dealers have factory-trained technicians, genuine Ford parts, and now everyday low prices on the services you need most. Motorcraft shocks for cars are now just $69 or less per pair installed. On Ford light-duty trucks, just $99 or less per pair installed. The right people, the right parts, and always the right prices. Quality care service at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
At your service, quality care. I hope I see you there.
Ma'am, may I please see your bag? What?
The syndicate is watching.
Stuck with a flat tire? Not with this tire. Even with no air pressure, you drive to safety. Aqua Steel Run Flat. Don't get stuck. Get there.
Good year, good year.
ESPN2's exclusive presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Quality Care Service at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
ESPN lead
Well, you know that the city of Philadelphia is known for history, but there's a lot of tradition here. NCAA champions in 54, a finalist again in 55 when the great Tom Gola was here. It was Bradley that LaSalle beat in the 1954 title game, 92-76. And there's Tom Gola, Ken Durrett, a couple of the retired numbers here, 4 to be exact for the LaSalle men's program.
And Lionel Simmons won the Wooden Award as the best college player in the land. And Michael Brooks also retired.
Let's see what LaSalle does off the timeout with a 2-point lead, 3.5 to go.
Nice D right here by UMass.
Lob inside to Thomas, but it was tipped away, and Babel comes up with a basketball.
What a great defensive play right there by everybody involved in UMass. From Babel to Kirkland.
Clark looking inside. Kirkland couldn't control, but he gets it back. Kicks it out to Mack.
Clark is trying to enter to Kirkland. They're running the same play again. They'll try to isolate him on that box.
Mack being hounded by Carr. Here comes Clark, pulls up. That ball was tipped out of his hands as he was going up and was lucky to get the shot away. Well, both teams with good defensive sequences. Butler pulls up and hits it, a 2-pointer. Two officials on the outside looked at each other to confirm that it was indeed a 2-pointer.
Great shot by Butler. They are good in transition.
NCAA basketball doubleheader coming your way tomorrow, Wednesday. It starts at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. It'll be an ACC matchup. 5th-ranked Maryland. The Terrapins will take on Clemson. Maryland, of course, led by LaRon Profit and Terrence Morris. And then it'll be the top-ranked Blue Devils of Duke taking on DePaul, a non-conference matchup. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, go.com.
Take a look at it. In transition, Blank's doing a nice job of finding people. And a good jump stop right there. Boy, when you can get a guy backing up on you and pull up at 6'7", George Gervin-ish kind of play.
Rasual Butler was able to reestablish the 4-point lead. 2.5 to go in the half. There is Mack handing it off to Clark, looking inside for Kirkland.
I would foul right here as much as I were LaSalle. Send UMass to the free throw line if you have to.
Ketner unable to hold. It has been a tough night for the big guy. Ketner, who was projected by many to be a lottery pick for the NBA, but I don't think his senior year has done anything to enhance his value in the upcoming NBA draft.
He has struggled. First time we've seen full court pressure by UMass. This is tough for Clark. He's got a broken right foot. Blank's handling it nicely.
Just 4 for 17 shooting for the big fella Ketner.
The clock is the ally of LaSalle right now.
Inside 2 minutes. Pick and roll. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Carr. He's got Wesson on the roll. Lays it up and in. There was some contact, but they let it go.
Great execution. Get your 2 best players involved.
Here is Mack still with just 1 field goal. And he forces one up here and draws the foul. UMass with just 1 point in the last 4.5 minutes. Don't forget the Anderson Consulting Match Play Championship. Tiger Woods will take on Nick Faldo in one of the first matches from Carlsbad, California. Single elimination match play among the top 64 golfers in the world. For more information, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Well, that was the first time Mack in the entire game really took an aggressive play to the basket and came up with something good.
Mack able to hit both, and
13, Rafael Cruz into the
Rafael Cruz is going to come in.
Right here, we're looking at the timeout situation. Plenty for both teams. Both coaches have conserved their timeouts for in-game situation. And we're going to see some fouling here by UMass immediately.
The score you see on your screen is correct. They're trying to get it corrected here in the arena. We'll be back with a minute and a half remaining.
Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers have factory-trained technicians. The parts made for your vehicle. And everyday low prices on the services you need most. Now get brake service for $95 or less installed. And a Motorcraft Tested Tough Series battery for $59.95. The right people, the right parts, and always the right prices. Quality care service at participating Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
At your service, quality care. I hope I see you there.
You might find them in a small-town schoolhouse or in a modern classroom in a great city. You cannot distinguish them by gender or by race or by age. Yet they are all bound together by one remarkable talent. They breathe life into learning. State Farm is proud to support America's most innovative teachers through our Good Neighbor Award. Thanks to these teachers, students are seeing learning in a whole new light.
When you talk to your kids about drugs, it may seem as though nothing's getting through. Don't believe it. Keep talking. Talk, listen, stay involved.
Well, here at LaSalle University, as you can see, the students love ESPN2. And we hope you're enjoying the action here. They have gotten the correct score up on the overhead clock, 57-53, with a minute and a half remaining here in the ball game.
Well, at this point in the game with 1:30, Dave, you're going to see UMass fouling quickly. They've got to try to get a steal if they can and not let the clock go down. Unfortunately for them, as you take a look at the timeout situations, plenty for both teams right here. Unfortunate thing for them is LaSalle has some pretty good free throw shooters.
A steal. Oh, and it was thrown away off the leg of Kirk. He couldn't save it. Oh, they got what they wanted with the great defensive play and the full court pressure.
Oh, Cruz made a really nice anticipation play, one that Bruiser Flint really liked. But unfortunately, there are no free throws right now. Take a look at this steal. Great anticipation and a nice save. Unfortunately, off the knee, and UMass comes up empty. The foul, but no shooting at this stage.
That was just their 16th foul. Now Babel knocks it away. Blank's trying to save it. Down to the floor after it is Cruz. And it's going to be LaSalle basketball. Not a foul, it was just out of bounds off UMass.
Ted Valentine in a skirmish with Bruiser Flint. Very experienced official right there. Yeah, letting it go. A lot of physical play in the backcourt right here.
Now it comes to Thomas.
Need a foul.
Mack goes for the steal. And that was the foul they were looking for. Minute 10 on the clock, as you see.
Of the 5 starters, Thomas is the most inconsistent free throw shooter, shooting only 65% from the field, from the free throw line, excuse me. But a sweet-looking stroke. You wonder if in-game situations, LaSalle's players tire at all. They have a big cushion, 4 points right here. He makes both of these. It's at least a 2-possession game for UMass.
Thomas now 2 for 3 from the line.
Charlton Clark, number 3, back into the
Speedy Morris right here.
Places Mike Babel.
Occasionally blesses himself as his players take the free throw. I don't know if, there he goes. There he goes.
Unable to get the second one down, and Ketner secures the rebound. 5-point deficit staring at the Minutemen. Here is Cruz. Looks inside for Ketner. Oh! And Ketner just having all kinds of problems tonight.
He is getting it from the fans. He's from Philadelphia, Roman Catholic High School, where Speedy Morris was the high school coach many years ago. And he's getting it from the fans here.
Winston Smith coming in, and he'll replace Ketner as Flint going with speed, quickness on the full court pressure. And a foul right away on Mack, I believe.
Well, I know people ask me lots of times, geez, why does this always happen at the end of college basketball games? And really, when you're behind, you know, there have been times where you foul to stop the clock, come down, hit threes, and get back in games. And so for Bruiser Flint, this is really the only thing that they can do. The clock is the enemy of the team that's behind. You've got to stop the clock, and the only way to do that is by calling timeout or fouling someone.
There you see what LaSalle has done so far. 9 for 12 from the line and unable to connect.
Fouled the right guy. He's 1 for 3 in his last 3 free throws. They need to get a 3 up here.
Here is Mack. Oh, good look inside. Ketner. Soft touch, but too soft. Puts his own miss back up and in. And it's down to a 3-point game with 47.1 on the clock.
Well, that's plenty of time, Dave. Let's look right here. Speedy not happy with that situation right here. They did set a nice screen. Mack went up. Ketner at least follows it in. He does a good job. Let's take a look at it from another angle here. They doubled him and completely left Ketner alone. That's the kind of attention Mack has been getting. And here we get a timeout. Plenty of time left with 47 seconds.
At the last second there, one of the LaSalle guards did rotate over. I was looking for Ketner to really go strong and go for the dunk or a real strong move. It was almost like he was trying to finesse it in.
Well, he was trying to finesse it in, and fortunately for him, he was able to jump a second time and put it in. And in this situation right now, you know, this is the kind of strategy that has to happen, and UMass is executing it well. They fouled twice. Thomas has gone to the line and made 1 and missed 2. They have come back and made their shot right here, so they're right back in this game. 3-point game with 47 seconds to go. Anything can happen. You're going to see fouling in these last few seconds right here. Same strategy on this possession.
Well, UMass, as we mentioned, coming in at 8-6. If they do not win this ball game, they drop to 8-7. And St. Bonaventure at 7-7 still have a couple of league games at Rhode Island and home to St. Joe's. So UMass does not have this 3rd spot in the East Division sewn up by any means.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. And Ketner and Mack, take a look at what they've done today. 16 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 for 32. Wow.
Full court press. Smith with the steal. Post for the timeout and gets it. Great defensive play by Winston Smith.
I'm not sure I would have called timeout right there. When you make a steal in full court situation, you should go ahead and take the ball to the basket with this much time left. Carr moves a little bit, and on the double team, he stands straight up in the air, and Winston Smith really anticipates well, cutting off the pass back to Carr, and they're happy about it. He should have taken it right to the basket.
Yeah, I think he may have been concerned he was going to travel the way he kind of awkwardly stepped over and he was leaning forward, and he seemed to call the timeout maybe before he picked up his pivot foot.
Well, the more disorganized it is, the better it is for Mass in terms of their offense. Now when LaSalle has an opportunity after a timeout to get their 5 guys set and play solid defense, and Winston's coming out.
Well, again, this is the
out-of-bounds play where Mack got a basket early. Let's see if they have a wrinkle off of it. He's going to get 2 single screens. He may peel back.
This time they kick it out to Kirkland. This is where the UMass inability to knock down free throws could become a factor. Cruz lays it in!
Oh, 1-point game. Now they do not need to foul.
Oh, that the foul was called, and Cruz thought that he had just held up there.
I'll tell you what, gutsy play by Cruz, a beautiful drive. Let's take a look at it. The whole side gets cleared because Mack's getting so much attention, and he finds his way easily to the basket. Are they happy? I think so. Everybody's looking at the clock. What happened on the ensuing play is Cruz did foul. As a result, LaSalle's going to get to shoot free throws. They probably should have not fouled and then just played it out.
It will be Butler going to the free throw line, and he has not been to the line yet tonight.
Normally a pretty good free throw shooter. Butler 74% from the line. He's got a beautifully nice stroke, long arm player. Thomas went 1 for 3 in his last 2 tries at the line. So we got Blanks going to the line.
I'm sorry, it is Blanks going to the line. Shooting the 1-and-1. Well, the freshman getting a little bit of late game pressure experience.
What point guards are supposed to do.
Couldn't finish. Wesson with the tip, and he got it in.
Oh my!
The senior in his last home game with a huge putback. 27 seconds remaining. Mack goes to the baseline, hands it off to Ketner. Tough shot, rolls around no good, and Wesson unable to save it. Whose ball is it? It belongs to LaSalle. Last touch by Kirkland, says the official.
Wesson coming up at both ends of the floor, big time. What a tip on that missed free throw. Woo!
Bruiser Flint quickly making the defensive substitution to get Smith and Babel back in. Butler, and he's fouled right away.
Well, you know, in endgame situations, when you have the lead like LaSalle has, you want to inbound to your best free throw shooter. And they got it right now to Butler, who's 74% from the line.
Second personal foul.
Great defense right here by Wesson. First of all, he helps, then gets back involved. You can see why he's the top rebounder in this league and makes a great save. Fantastic play by Wesson. He's taking this game on his shoulders.
He has 2 shots.
Rasual Butler going to the line, a 74% free throw shooter, and his first one on the night. And right away, Bruiser Flint making the substitutions, getting the offensive guys back in. And Smith and Babel will sit down as Ketner comes back in.
Well, to play for 40 minutes and then have a tip win it with the best rebounder in the league. Nice way to go out for LaSalle.
5 points the margin. They need at least a 3-on-1 trip. Here's Clark, and he drains the 3. It's back now to a 2-point ball game with 8.4 seconds.
You know, sometimes there's less pressure when you're behind, and guys can shoot the ball better from 3-point range. Clark really not looking to shoot very much this game. He's wide open in that situation and knocks it in.
Well, UMass out of timeouts, and they're running out of time. 8.4 seconds. LaSalle will have the ball in a 2-point lead when we come back.
They taught us how to love. They taught us how to live. And now they're back. Monster Ballads. 35 powerful hits on 2 CDs and 2 cassettes. It's awesome! Is this love? Whitesnake. That I'm feeling. Winger. When I see you smile more than words. Rush delivery available. Every bad boy has his soft side. Get Monster Ballads. To order, call the number on your screen. This 35-track collection is not sold in stores.
Well, they're going crazy here at Tom Gola Arena, the campus of LaSalle University. Their club has a 2-point lead, 8.4 seconds on the clock. UMass out of timeouts. LaSalle still has 1 remaining.
Lots can still happen. Donnie Carr, big time in the second half. Shut out in the first half, explodes in the second half. And Kazel Wesson does a tremendous job in the closing moments right here. UMass will foul. Look for a long pass by LaSalle.
Carr is the man that will inbound. Thomas comes toward the ball, gives it back to Carr, and he is fouled right away. 2 seconds came off the clock, down to 6.2.
Well, there have been several players on this march to the free throw line in the last 50 seconds. Butler, Thomas, Blanks, and now Carr. And if I were Speedy Morris, this is the guy that I would like to have up there.
Donnie Carr as well, the free throw shooter.
His routine when they shoot the free throws.
Has 2 shots.
Carr shooting 2, ranked 13th on the all-time LaSalle list of scores.
Speedy doesn't want anybody on the line right now because he's fearful that on a miss, one of his guys might foul. Also, when you pull your guys away from the free throw line like this, your defense is set at the other end. Notice Carr is up there. Everybody else in the gold shirts back defensively.
Two-possession game if he makes this. And he does not. It's a three-point game. UMass needs a three-pointer to send this to overtime. 2 seconds, 1 second. Matt gets it away, but it's well short. And he's looking for some contact, but no call.
They maintain their home court. LaSalle losing only 1 game at Tom Gola Arena. And that man, Wesson, averaging a double-double, gets the tip to give them room for the win.
Coming up next year on the news, the 1998 World's Strongest Man Competition. For Bob Wesson and the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Strader. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. They'll be celebrating in the city of brotherly love. LaSalle wins it over UMass. Good night from Philadelphia.